I told my goddaughter's father he was a cowardly deadbeat dad in front of his new wife and family. My best friend Anna and I have been like sisters for 15 years. When she was 20, she got pregnant with her high school boyfriend Jeff. They'd been together for 5 years, so when she asked me to be godmother to baby Aurora, I was honored. Everything seemed perfect until Aurora was born. That's when Jeff completely fell apart. He told Anna he couldn't handle sharing her attention with a baby and just disappeared. Left her alone in their apartment with a newborn and no support. Anna moved in with me during my last year of college. We had this tiny 2-bedroom place, and we made it work. I'd watch Aurora between classes while Anna worked, then she'd take over when I had my part-time job. It was exhausting, but Aurora became like my own daughter. After I finished my PhD and started making good money, I bought a bigger apartment. I told Anna she could live with me rent-free forever. I also started giving her $800 a week so she could quit her job and go to university like she'd always wanted. Plus, I cover Aurora's private school, health insurance, everything. For 5 years, Jeff was completely out of the picture. No calls, no birthday cards, nothing. Aurora doesn't even remember him. Then last week, this guy shows up at my apartment with his new wife and his parents, like some kind of intervention squad. He starts talking about how he's changed and wants to be part of Aurora's life now. Anna told him absolutely not. That's when Jeff gets all threatening, saying he'll take us to court for custody rights and that he'll pay child support now. I literally burst out laughing. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "We don't need your money, you cowardly deadbeat. I've been more of a parent to that child than you ever were." He got all defensive, saying I had no rights over his daughter. So I told him, "You're right, I don't have rights, but I have love, and I have a signed agreement where I pay $800 every week for your daughter's care, plus all her medical bills and school tuition." His new wife's jaw just dropped. She had no idea Jeff even had a kid, let alone one he'd abandoned for 5 years. She started asking him questions, and Jeff was stumbling over his words, trying to explain. That's when his mom chimed in about Aurora deserving to know her grandparents. I told her, "Where were you grandparents when Anna was changing diapers at 3 in the morning? Where were you when Aurora had to go to the emergency room with a fever?" Jeff's wife looked absolutely disgusted. She turned to him and said, "You told me you'd never been married and had no kids." Then she walked out without another word. Jeff started yelling at me, calling me crazy and saying I was brainwashing his daughter. I told him he had 30 seconds to get off my property before I called the police. His parents tried to calm him down, but he was screaming about taking me to court and how I couldn't keep him from his own child. That's when I dropped the final bomb. I told him Aurora was born with type 1 diabetes and needs constant medical care. His face went completely white because he obviously had no clue about his own daughter's health condition. I said, "You want to be a dad? She needs insulin shots 4 times a day, blood sugar checks every 2 hours, and emergency medication that costs $3,000 a month. You ready for that responsibility?" He just stood there with his mouth open while his parents looked mortified. They all left without saying another word. Anna found out later that Jeff's new wife was infertile, and that's the only reason he wanted Aurora back. But when she learned about the diabetes, she called Aurora defective and wanted nothing to do with her. Jeff hasn't contacted us since.